on receiving and manifestation. Recently, I was speaking at an event, just a local casual event, and I was talking about shame, and somebody said, I want you to teach me about manifestation. Like, it just seems like you really know how to do it. And I said, shame work is manifestation work. And I think that sometimes that can catch people off guard because they're like, what? Those things are not correlated. If you've been listening to these episodes for a while, you might already understand the correlation, but I'm going to explain it here. We can only receive or manifest to the level of our own self-worth, to what I believe I'm willing to receive. So if I put something out in the universe and I'm like, this is what I want, this is what I want to create, but I actually don't feel like I'm deserving of receiving that thing, I'm going to consistently resist it. I'm going to consistently block it. I'm not actually going to be able to create the thing. So shame work is kind of over here on the left-hand side. And once we move through that to the right-hand side, then we move to manifestation. If you listen to my episode on the analogy of the two rooms, this is that same idea. The right-hand side room is where manifestation lies. I actually prefer the term receiving because I think that we are open to, when we're open to receiving, we receive what is out there that is for us. That it's not something that we have to like work so hard at and think so much and like, I have to believe every single day to get there, but that we just get to be open to receiving. I know somebody that was working on becoming a millionaire, and it worked for them. They wrote it down every single day. This is who I am. And they would write all of these mantras and they would say them every single day for 7 years, and they were able to create what they wanted. And so I started doing that. And after a few weeks, I forgot. I don't even remember what I was writing down, but I definitely forgot. And then it fizzled out. And I think I had this idea that I'm not going to be able to create what I want because I don't believe strong enough, because I don't practice it every day, because I don't give it enough attention. I want to offer that you don't have to write out every single thing that you want every single day in order to create it. It doesn't have to be something that you're constantly thinking of. I think that sometimes we focus on it so much, we give it so much attention and love and care from unbelief, because we don't actually believe that we're worthy of receiving it, or we don't actually believe that we will receive it. And that's why we focus so much on mantras and affirmations and writing things down and thinking about it all of the time so that we can make sure that we manifest it. That's control energy, right? Or the apathy of, I guess I'm never going to get it. There's a difference between attention and intention. Attention is, I planted the seed and now I'm just going to sit there and watch my garden for weeks and weeks and weeks and be like, why is it not blooming? And why is it taking so long to bloom? In fact, I did just this. I planted a bunch of seeds in my garden, my physical garden. Nothing was happening. I gave it several weeks and I was like, guaranteed these are not going to work. And so I went to the greenhouse. My friend happens to own it. And I was like, just give me all of your flowers and I'm going to plant them because mine aren't working. And she asked me a little bit more about it. And she was like, you know what, just give it a little bit. Like, why don't we just see what happens? I went home and sure enough, in a week or two, things started to get green and the seeds were growing. I haven't seen any blooms yet, but something is definitely growing back there. And it helped me to pause and recognize, like, sometimes my attention almost kills it. I'm focusing way too much. I'm watering it way too much. I'm weeding it too much. I'm thinking about it constantly because I don't actually think it's going to happen. If I knew it was going to happen, and if I knew with a shadow of a doubt that it was going to happen in some time and in some way, something was going to grow that I wanted, how much time would I actually invest there? Would I be spending all of my time and energy thinking about it all of the time? Or would I just know it's going to happen so I can just release? Now, the reason this is important is because manifestation is energy work. Energy work being like, it's the energy that I am in that then allows me to receive the thing that I want. And so if I'm in this unbelief energy, and then I believe that the unbelief energy is a problem and I swirl in more unbelief energy, then I'm creating more of what I don't want. Somebody's quote, I do not know who it was, is worrying is praying for what you don't want. So the more that I'm worrying, the more that I'm ruminating my thoughts, I'm actually focusing more on what I don't want than what I do want. So this is what I want to do instead. I want to recognize when I'm in unbelief. That's going to happen. And I'm not going to make it a problem anymore. I was in unbelief about half the time, and I was in belief about half the time. But when I was in unbelief, the unbelief was growing because I was like, shoot, I'm not believing this hard enough. I'm not going to make it happen. But if the unbelief wasn't a problem, then I can just release the attachment to the non-belief and just let it be there. And then it's going to gradually fizzle out. I believe that manifestation is believing something into existence, like believing it before I see evidence of it. I think that I can do this within relationships. I can create and cultivate a new kind of relationship with somebody that I really want to see before I see evidence of it. I've seen this happen with my own teenagers when I'm like, I want them to have more self-confidence and to love themselves more and to know how smart they are. I worked unfocused on believing that thing that I didn't see much evidence of it first because then I was able to hold and cultivate that belief so much until they started to believe it as well. Not because I was like telling them to. I didn't even tell them I was doing this work for them. We can manifest other things like these. This is more like in the realm of, emotions and relationships, but you might actually want to create more wealth. Might want to work for yourself so you have more time. You might want to create some cool thing. Like right now we're doing some house and renovation projects and I love it. And that's something that I'm working on actively manifesting. But the active manifestation comes less from, let me focus on believing, but I'm just going to put this intention out there into the universe and I'm going to believe that it's going to happen. And then I just go take congruent action. Congruent action being intuitively what feels like the right thing. And often for me, that's way less action, like way less action. Usually when I'm in unbelief, I action a lot more. And it's not the actions that actually feel congruent either, but I didn't recognize that when I was working from unbelief energy. So if you want to manifest something more, self-worth work is the work to do. Recognizing like what part of me might be blocking myself from receiving. I don't even ask myself like, is there shame somewhere in this within my manifestation work? I just ask myself like, where is it? What tiny, tiny little block, what like 0.01% might still be there that feels resistant? There's all this water flowing in a stream, like what tiny little boulders are blocking that water from flowing? Show me what those boulders are. And that is what radical honesty is let me actually really dig into what my deep down truth is and help to shift those boulders so that I can stop blocking the flow of whatever it is that I'm trying to receive. This is what I think opens us up for more receiving. And a couple other manifestation principles is one being we need to drop the how. And I think that happens as we're in this like non-attached energy, just like believing that we're going to receive it, that it doesn't matter how it comes in. It can be a slightly different way. It might actually be better than what I even imagined I was going to manifest. It might be something that's even better for me. I also think another one is we drop the timing of it. It's more divine timing. It's going to happen in the timing that it needs to as well. I don't feel so rushed and urgent about it. And I also believe that what's good for me is what's good for the world. So it's going to be good for me and for all others, whatever it is that I'm trying to receive. And from this energy, for me, what's changed in my business is I used to feel very up and down with it all the time. If it was going really good, I felt really good. If it was going really poorly, I felt really bad. And it was like this constant roller coaster that was like whiplashy. And sometimes I would stay in the like, it feels really bad for like days or weeks or months. And now through this kind of work, this more detached work, this more self-worth work, it doesn't matter what comes in or what goes out or how things are going or the ups and downs. I just feel calm. I feel grounded. I feel non-attached, but in a very healthy and whole way because I'm not seeking something outside of myself to make me feel that wholeness. The wholeness comes from within. And then I create a business from spiritual wholeness, which feels very different than what I was trying to create before. So if you want to do manifestation work, start with shame work, start with self-worth work, and then just be open to receiving what is out there for you and being in belief that you are worthy to receive it and that you will receive it and that it will come in. I could probably talk about manifestation for 18 hours, but I'm going to leave it at that. And if you have more manifestation questions, I would love to hear them. You can comment below, message me, send me an email, and we'll chat about manifestation. It's one of my favorite topics. So go ahead and consciously create what it is that you want. Create it in your mind first and then see it outside in your reality. And that's what manifestation is. And it's some beautiful work. If you are enjoying these episodes, I would love for you to follow, subscribe, like, share, do all those things so that it can get more out into the world, more out into the algorithm, and join me in this shame-free movement.